So the year is 1987, okay? I'm in 7th grade. I'm in Little League. I'm about 4'8", 85 pounds, and they give us baseball cards for the first time. This is my baseball card, okay? I want you to look on the back, and they had us list our favorite players. Who'd I list?
I got to put my glasses on.
I'm going to tell you. I listed Wally Backman.
Awesome. That's amazing, but you just showed how old I really am getting.
But I listed it because I was not the biggest guy. I was not the strongest guy. I just wanted to get on base and hustle my way around the bases because that's what you did when I watched you growing up. How many times have you heard that story from somebody?
Quite a few, actually.
Yeah.
It's a good story, actually, because it's baseball's not about size. It's about determination, willpower, the things that you can go out and control yourself. You know, you don't have to be 6'3" or 6'4". You know, I had never had any fear in me when I got in the batter's box. And, you know, guys looked at me when I first signed in 1977, says, this is the #1 pick. Well, I had to prove myself, and I did. But it was every day. It was a battle every day. But it's something that I thrived on, that the pressure of having to show somebody that what you're capable of doing on a day in and day out basis. And that was just who Wally Backman was.
You make your debut in 80, 84, you're the starting second baseman. Then 1986, all heck breaks loose. Mets win the World Series. What was it like to own that town at that time as a member of the Mets?
Well, you know, it was special. It really was. And not only was it special then, it's still special now. The way that the people come up and greet the players that played on that team.
Yeah.
They haven't forgotten. And that's special to a player, I think. And it's special to me. That's why I think coming back to Long Island is more special than I probably act like it is, but it's very special to come back here.
Listen, we've heard the stories. Now that I'm older and I read the stories of that team, holy smokes, there was guys with drug problems, alcohol problems, women problems, bar fights, infighting. I think Bob Ojeda, the former pitcher, said, we were a bunch of, quote, vile. How did a team that was so, and for lack of a better term, dysfunctional, function so well?
Because we were like this as a group.
Yeah.
As a group. When we went between those white lines, there was things we'd say on the airplane that I can't say on the air. When that plane had touched ground, we were there, and they knew we were there.
Yeah.
And we were determined to go out there every day and win. And the one thing I try to instill in players is what Davey basically instilled in us in those years that Davey was there, is you have to hate to lose more than you like to win. And that's what he instilled in us. And we took it very personal. When we got beat, we wanted to go out and kick their butt the next day and the next day.
Yeah.
So that was our motto.
And you did it. And the next day, and the next day, and the next day.
Yeah, we did it.
So you win the championship in '86. You're on a Mets team that wins something like 192 games, right, for the next couple of years. You play for a good number of years, but you never got that championship feeling again. How much did that bother you, that you never had that moment again?
Well, you know, I look back at it and I look at today, and those teams that we had from '84 on,
they're a dynasty.
all the way through '88,
They're a dynasty.
we would have been in the playoffs every year with the wild card.
Right.
So, you know, it's nice to see that those teams, I mean, one year I don't think we went to the playoffs and then we won 98 games or 99 games and don't go to the playoffs. So, you know, that doesn't happen today, and that's a good thing. But it was a somewhat of a little bit of a dynasty for those years. You know, we competed, you know, and we expected to win when we went out there every day. It was a good group of guys.
Islanders coach Barry Trotz, they're in the playoffs right now, and he just said, you know, he won a Stanley Cup last year, and he said, when you get that first one, it's like an addiction.
Yep, no
you
doubt.
just want it over and over and over. How big is that addiction when you're a player?
It's big. It's big as a player and a manager. I've been on both sides as a manager and a player, and I think I've won 6 championships. And just one at the major league level. But I'm going to tell you what, they're all special.
Are they all the same?
You know, I think there's more hype, of course, in the World Series.
Sure.
But I think the way you feel, yeah, that's pretty close to the same, because, you know, it's a long season, no matter where you're at in baseball. And to get to the end and have a chance to win a championship it still means something.
You've been a manager now for 20 years, and I think I read you said this job has really kicked you down sometimes, you and your family. How hard has it been to keep fighting?
I'm a fighter. I'm here for one reason, just the same reason the player is, to try to get another opportunity. But my focus right now is on the Long Island Ducks and the Long Island Ducks only. So that's the job that I have in hand right now, and that's the job that I'm going to try to make these guys the best I can.
So you get a chance to be the Diamondbacks manager in '04. We know what happened. It's a well-versed story.
Right,
they
sure.
give you the job. You've got some things in your past, some domestic issues, a DUI. What did that moment do for you in your life when they said, you know what, Wally, we're not going to give you that job now, 4 days after they gave it to you?
It's tough, because I made a mistake. I made one mistake in my life when I got the DUI. The domestic dispute was something that I got a 10-inch plate in my arm because my wife's girlfriend hit me with my own World Series bat. And that was what happened. So if there's one bad mistake that I think I made, it was the fact that I got a DUI in 1999. I paid for it, and I learned from it.
Yeah.
And, I try to turn the page and go on.
How many times do you share that story with these guys that you've had in single A and double A, triple A about making the right decision every time?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. Usually every meeting at the start of a season, there'll be something that's kind of about that, because that one mistake, you don't want it to cost you your career.
Yeah.
And that one mistake, you might save somebody's life in the case that you don't do it. But it's something that I've been lucky, because I've shared that story and I have managed for, God, I can't believe it's been 20 years, but
I didn't make you feel old again.
Knock on wood, I've never had a player get in trouble.
Yeah.
So, knock on wood for that, but they've been listened about it, and if I can help one guy, I'm helping somebody.
Yeah. The Mets give you a second chance. You go single A, double A, triple A, have a lot of success, yet you were never brought back to the Mets to be part of their major league team as a coach or a manager, even though you helped mold DeGrom and Syndergaard and Nimmo and all those guys. How much did that hurt?
A little bit. It's called respect, and I felt that at times I wasn't respected over there. And Terry and I still talk, and I know Terry still does some things with the Mets, and Terry always told me, you're the next guy, Wally, to fall in. And there was that difference between me and Sandy Alderson.
Right.
And I have never been able to figure it out, because I never disrespected the man.
You used the term that he blackballed you. In sports and in life, that's a pretty big word. Do you regret that word at all, or do you still believe it?
Yeah, I probably regret saying blackballed. I think that he did have some say. I know that all those people talk.
Yeah.
And especially in the general manager's meeting and the owner's meetings, and you don't know what is said, but it was always out there from other people that were high up in other organizations that, what did you do? And I try to tell them I did nothing. I respected the man. I did what I was asked to do on the field with players. I was trying to protect our number one picks.
Yeah.
That's what a manager is supposed to do.
You mentioned you didn't get the job when Terry left, even though you thought, hey, I'm going to be next in line. Do you watch the Mets now, and they're still trying to recapture that magic from 2015?
Hey,
do you watch and go,
yes,
I can help them. I can do that. I could help them be better.
Well, that's, you got to have the opportunity to be able to say that. But I watch those kids. I've had them all. They came up through the system with me. I know them all on an individual basis, and I wish every one of them the best. So I root for them.
Is it still fun to root for the Mets?
It's fun to root for the players that played for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a difference there.
A little bit.
The way the wording there was
it's
a little different.
But no, I pull for the Mets still. That was the first organization I went to when I was 17 years old. So it's hard to, once I left New York and went to Minnesota, I felt like I went from the big leagues back to AAA. So I root for the Mets.
I actually forgot you went to the Twins. I was like, where did he go after that? I went, oh, that's right, he went to the Twins.
1 year.
Especially at '87, Twins were really great. They won the World Series.
89 we weren't.
Yeah, no. The role of a manager has changed, especially in the big leagues now. You read all about, oh, you're more of a middleman, you're this and that. It's the front office calling the shots. Do you think 20-year veteran, is that a job you would want, or would you want more control?
Well, I think you have to let your manager make the lineup up, and I think that most clubs probably still do. I do know that you're right. Some do not make the lineup. It depends, I think, on the organization that you're with. I get it that there's more communication, which is a good thing, I think.
Yeah.
When you can communicate with your scouting staff and your front office staff, and you can come to agreements in some things, the game has changed a little bit. That's why in the Atlantic League we're making these changes first, and that's why we signed the agreement, the 3-year deal with Major League Baseball. So I believe in change. Let's see if it works. We got all the instruments now to collect all that data to see if it really does work. You know, if they're going to do away with the shift. I get it. They want more action in baseball.
Yeah.
They want baseball back the way that it probably was in the 80s. More stolen bases. You know, the strikeouts are higher.
Yes, please,
than
more stolen bases, please.
You know, please. I mean, just more action.
Yeah.
Baseball is looking for more action. The game has gotten a little bit boring. What was it? Somebody said the other night, a game started and went 15 minutes into playing the game before a ball was hit in play.
Right.
So, you know, I mean, that's not fun to watch.
No, not at all. There's part of your story, and we've just talked about it, of trying to get back to the bigs. Does that essentially make you a good fit for this league too? Because you're also chasing the dream in this league like everybody out there.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. You know, I think I have 18 guys that played in the big leagues
Yep.
that's on this team now. So the level of play is good, and it's about winning. You know, it's not really about developing. It's in a sense, you're still trying to help some players do some things. But the fact that I'm managing somewhere, I'm excited because I compete. I want to compete on a day in and day out basis.
Yeah. Awesome. Awesome memories. This was fantastic.
All right, guys. Good.
Thank you.